5 years ago. Now the Central Stags could try again this summer if they can secure financial backing. Central Stags chief executive Pete DeWitt confirmed their start 2020 import Mela Jayawardene wouldn't return as he scales back his cricket-playing commitments, opening the way for them to chase a big name. That is entirely dependent on securing generous sponsorship, and Gayle's availability after the West Indies tour of New Zealand, which ends on January 3. Assuming the T20 star, self-named world boss, isn't signed by an Australian Big Bash franchise, the Stags' final 4 regular season matches from January 6 to 14, including 2 at postage stamp Pukekohe Park in New Plymouth, would potentially fit. If he's available, we could potentially look at him, Gayle. For us, the first step is to find funding partners to assist us, in the same way that NMIT, Nelson Marlborough Institute of Technology, were assisting us with Mela, DeWitt said. We don't budget for these overseas pros. We're talking to a number of potential sponsors at the moment, and if we get some kind of commitment, we'll start to look at potential players. We want it to be a high-profile person who can deliver for us on the field and off the field in the changing room, and also needs to add to the flavor of the tournament. It needs to be a really big name, the likes of a Mela or a Chris Gayle or a Kevin Pietersen. DeWitt employed Pietersen, who is playing the Big Bash in Australia this summer, when he was chief executive of the Dolphins franchise in South Africa, and knows the big names aren't cheap. Gayle could command match fees of between $15,000 and $20,000, but it was enough to appeal to a potential backer in January 2013. Stags chief executive at the time, Hugh Henderson, said they were very close to snaring Gayle for 2 T20 matches in New Plymouth after the Big Bash, but the deal fell through. Gayle is a controversial figure and was derided in Australia for his infamous "Don't Blush Baby" television interview with broadcaster Mel McLaughlin, and Big Bash franchises have shown little interest in him since. He is currently taking a defamation case against Fairfax Media in Sydney. Still, there's little doubt Gayle's hitting power and star quality would draw crowds in the Super Smash, which starts on December 13. It struggles to attract the big names, clashing with both the Big Bash and the Black Caps home internationals over the holiday period. Jayawardene was a revelation for the Stags in his 2 seasons, averaging 62 in 4 matches in 2015-16, then 46 from 9 matches last summer as they dominated before losing to Wellington in the final. We were very keen to get Mela again, but he's decided to retire. He's got a pretty full schedule as a coach now, so he's decided to focus on that, DeWitt said. It's obviously disappointing for us because he's been a really good player for us and added a lot of value on and off the park. We're looking at options, but overseas players come at quite a price, so we've just to balance that up with what we're trying to do as an association and looking after our own players.